Hello, well it's Friday already and we have got the weekend weather coming up. A better day on Saturday in terms of drier weather for many of us, whereas Sunday looks to be the return of some wetter weather. Before we get there though, let's have a look at Friday afternoon. Still with these features running across those more northern parts of the Coromandel and up and towards Northland. And as we head through the afternoon, we'll find a fair number of showers springing up from say Auckland down through Waikato, Waitomo and towards the Central Plateau. Some of those fairly sharp and up and towards Northland as well. But you'll notice as we head through the afternoon, most of the areas around the coast stay just about dry. Some decent spells of sunshine across the southern parts of the Northland and across many parts of the South Island. As we head on in towards the night time, we can find this area of low pressure getting closer towards that northeastern corner, but the bulk of it stays offshore. It will throw a fair bit of cloud up in towards the Wairoa district and up towards Gisborne, but for many spots of the North Island, it stays dry through the night time. And a similar story on the South Island, plenty of dry, clear weather from say Nelson through Marlborough and down through most of Canterbury. A bit of patchy cloud here and there through Otago as well. And you can see we've got more cloud and showers, present some longer spells of rain pushing in towards Fiordland and Westland. But for many of us, it stays dry through the night time. In terms of our temperatures though, it will be another chilly night. Temperatures are back down to around about 3 degrees Celsius through those more inland areas of Taupo, 5 for Hamilton, and then towards about 11 or so for Auckland. Not too bad for you. And even on the South Island, not quite as cold as we saw last night. Looking ahead in towards Saturday though, we'll keep an eye on this feature out towards the north and east. It stays mainly offshore. We might find a bit of rain that runs in towards those northern parts of Tairāwhiti, but most of the North Island stays dry. There'll be more cloud that pushes in from the west by the end of the day, brings perhaps an odd shower here and there. But most of the activity will be down south, with these fronts moving in towards the southern parts of the country, introducing again some more cold air back through there and some showers or longer spells of rain running up that western coast of the South Island. But I think for the North Island, many of us are in for a dry, clear start. You can see that cloud around Tairāwhiti, but you might find a bit of rain clips those far northern parts of the east coast. But for most of us, it's a dry day. There's more cloud that starts to push back in from the west as we head through towards evening time, perhaps thick enough to bring an odd shower around those western coasts. But for most of us, it's dry. The cloud thickening up about the tops of the hills and the ranges could bring an odd shower if you're out tramping. But for many of us, a fine looking day, just more cloud through the evening around those western areas. On the eastern coast, brightening up quite nicely. In terms of our temperatures, highs of around about 19 degrees Celsius in Napier look to be the warmest for the North Island. 17s elsewhere looks to be a pretty decent temperature for many of us, and not nearly as cold as we head through towards Sunday morning. Down on the South Island, again, there's plenty of dry weather. Nelson looking like a great day for you, Marlborough and through those northern parts of Canterbury. We might find a bit of patchy cloud around these eastern areas. But really, a lot of the activity will be on the western coast. We'll find some cloud and perhaps some showers and even longer spells of rain. A bit of patchy rain makes its way across Southland and in towards Otago. And as we see another front running up from the south, we might find those showers creeping in towards the southern parts of Canterbury, but probably not reaching there until way after it's dark. But I think just something to watch out for later on, perhaps a touch more cloud in Christchurch. It is still cold enough for perhaps a little bit of snow above about 700 metres, but I think for many of us it's just a few showers down south to watch out for. And I think in terms of our temperatures, it's really very warm on the South Island, on these eastern areas. Places like Christchurch up to about 20 degrees Celsius. A pretty decent daytime high there. 21 though. Up in Blenheim, a pretty nice looking story and staying dry and fine for you through most of the daytime. Looking ahead in towards Sunday, it is a different story. We've got two things to watch out for. This area of development up towards the far north and west, that's going to be an area of low pressure that runs towards those northern areas. Throws a fair bit of cloud and showery weather back towards us across the North Island. Some of those fairly sharp, I would think there. Where the low goes, it's going to be all to play for. It may mean that it's a little bit further towards the north or the south, so worth keeping a close eye. But Sunday looks to be the wetter day of the weekend for the North Island. And on the South Island, a bit of an onshore feed of air will keep a touch more cloud from, say, Dunedin up through Christchurch and Canterbury. And I think we are going to find some patchy rain through there. But most of that wet weather will be up through the high country where that cloud runs in towards the hills. But perhaps even a bit more of a top-up of snow over the very, very highest parts of the South Island.